Hi, this is BJ from Digital Mind. I'm just shooting a short video on how to get a good reputation as a freelancer. The first point I'd like to cover with you is to quite simply underpromise and overdeliver. And the way you can do that as a freelancer is to give yourself plenty of time. So if you, for instance, receive a project that you know you can do in a week's time, then say that it's going to take you 2 to 3 weeks. Because then the client will immediately get the impression that you're able to deliver more than you say that you will. Also, try to save the client time and effort by quite simply conducting yourself in a professional manner, and also try to offer something that is unexpected. So if, for instance, that you're creating a website, then try to suggest additional plugins or variations to the website that you can deliver towards the end. Secondly, always keep your promises. This is probably the most important point I like to mention as an employer, because you're being judged very heavily on it. If you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, it's going to be remembered. So anything that you promise, try to treat it like it is an additional task. Thirdly, be organized. Be organized in how you apply, what you include in your applications, and how you customize it to each client. Be organized in how you reply when the clients contact you. Be organized in how you work, how you approach the various elements in your day-to-day activities, and also be organized in how you think and how you act. Now that is basically a summary of the previous 3 points. But what I mean by that is to quite simply emphasize that it's really quite simple how you're being judged from a client perspective, because you don't necessarily have all the skills that the freelancer might have, but you are still able to evaluate the freelancer on the way that they are conducting themselves. If it seems clear, if it seems to make sense, you're more lenient. Also, make it a habit to only work if you understand. In particular, what I mean by that is don't start an assignment until you're absolutely clear what it is that the client wants. Now, this can save you a lot of time and the client a lot of frustration, because if you're unclear, then the work becomes unclear and you end up doing a lot of revisions. Ideally, you want to aim at getting the work done before the deadline, and if you're very clear on that at the get-go, you have a higher chance of doing that. Also, I would suggest that you put extra attention on your communication. I would say that this is probably second most important after sticking to all your promises. Try to make yourself available every 24 hours. Now, of course, it would be unreasonable to expect that you are awake regardless of whatever the time your client might be up. However, an email sent should be replied within 24 hours. Also, you should try to aim to pick up on every request. So if an email has been sent, you should be able to reply to it. And also clarify if you're unsure. For instance, if a client has a variation to a project that is very important, then try to clarify that so that there's no misunderstandings. Also, be careful if you have a different opinion than your client. Now, it's generally okay to express it, but it's not okay to assume that it's your decision on what to do with the project. It's, in the end, the client's money. So if you have a suggestion, if you think that something can be done in a better way, then try to talk with your ears by For instance, creating two versions, the version that the client wants and the version that you think would be better. It can be very frustrating from a client to give a brief that is very clear and very specific and then end up with something that you didn't really request and you didn't really agree to, and you'll have to go back and put extra time and effort into making it done right. Yet at the same time, it's completely okay if you have a different opinion, if you do express it, because as an employer, you do not have all the answers. And the expertise that you have is appreciated. Finally, learn from feedback. It's common among some freelancers to regard bad feedback as something that automatically reduces their chances of getting more work. Well, as an employer, it's true that if I see a profile that has a lot of negative feedback, I do get skeptical. But I'm also looking at how the freelancer replies to that feedback. Do they reply in detail? Do they reply with good arguments? Your goal as a freelancer, I would assume from an employee perspective, should be to increase customer satisfaction. And you could also aim at improving your processes when you receive bad feedback. And also try to find new opportunities. For instance, if a client say that, well, the design might have been lacking here or there, or the writing might have been a little bit unspecific, then you can turn that into another opportunity by making that which could have been your biggest weakness a great strength next time around. Okay, and that's about it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, go to digitalmind.com.